Hello, welcome to episode 3 of this mission to take Rovers up the pyramid using only local born players. At the start of season 3 we are in League 1, but we have a major problem in that we have pretty much no money. We've managed to move on the last couple, or the last 3, as it were, non-local players. Mola's contract ran out, so he ended up leaving on a free. We got 400k for Thomas and 450 for Cavan. Cavan especially, we had offers of $1 million, but the board kept turning them down. They wanted more, and in the end, the only offer I could get was of 450 for him to go back to Switzerland. So that was that. We bought in 900k. We had to, because we had negative money in terms of being able to spend on transfers. Herbie Kane has come in on a free, which has been a good signing. Donovan Wilson, I looked at a few times in the first couple of seasons. He's not really a League One level striker, but given we don't have many other options, he was the best we could find. And Nick Cerula has come in as well to play at left back. This then is what the team looks like. In fact, I'll show you the full strength team as we have it. Oops, not that one. This one. So Herbie Kane goes into the midfield, and again, having lost Cavan, Wilson goes up front, and with Thomas gone, Gonzalo, who's one of the youngsters, has come in on the left. It's not great. It's not great for a League One team, to be honest. Midfield and defence isn't bad. I think over the course of the season, Will Larvin's going to take Joe Edwards' place. Mikayet Gidyaki is the promising hope, the Turk born in Bristol, and obviously we've still got Dewsbury, Charles around as well. Kofi Shaw will come onto the bench for this next game, but hasn't really kicked on as much as we would have liked at the moment. So this is where we are. In terms of the start of the season, I'm really pleased with the 14th. We've won 2, lost 3. We were bottom after the first couple of games, but we're slowly turning that around. And just avoiding relegation, I think, will be massive this season. We've really tried with transfers. Joe Bryan I've been working on for a while. We just can't. I've even tried a loan, but there's just no money to bring him in. There's a few different players that we've tried over the course of this window, but just not happening. Just can't find anyone that's interested and is willing to take effectively no money at all. As I've shown you before, the staff are all local now. That has left us with a few holes that we are going to need to fill staff-wise. Finding it very hard to find a chief scout or a scout of any form that's local that would be willing to come in. So I'll keep working on that as the season goes. But otherwise, the next update you will get will be once we have reached the end of the January transfer window. Okay, so a fairly quick January transfer window update. One player in, Jordan Turnbull from Tranmere. He will play quite a few games from Trowbridge, probably will become a coach in the not too distant future as well. And then in terms of players going out, a couple of loans. So Dante McEwen has went out on loan in November to Dulwich. Thomas O'Donovan was a youth player that from now on I'm only going to bring players in the youth intake that are local. He was one that came in that wasn't local, so I just released him and he's gone to Shrewsbury. A bit of a shame because he had quite good potential but doesn't meet our criteria. And then we had a decent sized bid come in for Wallacott, and given that goalkeeper was one of the positions we had a bit of depth in, I decided to let him go, balance the books, and allow Jed Ward to take that position. In terms of how the team looks then at the moment, this is how we are setting up. We're becoming quite reliant on some of the young players. The young Turk that came in through the youth intake I think it's in the first season, that is Bristolian, has become a regular at this attacking midfield position. He is actually possibly slightly more useful, slightly deeper as well, but we're using him there for now. Having to use Gonzalo quite a lot. Donovan Wilson has been massively important, and he's again not all that good, but again we're just so limited for options really it's this midfield that's keeping us going, and Jones has been quite good. A lot of players saying they're going to run down their contracts, but nobody that's important is going to leave at the end of this season. As for performance, it's not bad. We have had periods where we've been right up amongst or right up close to the playoffs, and we're only 5 points off of them. But more pleasingly, we are 9 points clear of the relegation zone. So as long as we can keep things ticking over, we should be able to establish ourselves as a mid-table League One team, which is, I think, possibly the best we can ask for, given the limited resources that we have. Finances are the best they've been for a while, with Wallacott moving on. And we're actually under the wage budget for the first time in a while. So there'll be another update come at the end of the season. So this is going to be the final part of a slightly shorter episode, just because we haven't really had a huge amount going on this season. Bit of a summary for you. We finished about where I expected, 16th mid-table. We lost a lot of games that we could have won as well over the course of the season. No real threat of relegation, which, given how weak our team was at the start of the season, I'm more than happy with. FA Cup I didn't mention was a bit of a nightmare to lose to Altrincham in the second round. That could have raised us a bit of money, as could the Carabao Cup, where we lost a winnable game against Northampton. As for the squad, it's if I show you information on who has actually played and what they have achieved, that would be under there is some information there. I'll go with selection information. So Edwards has played pretty much every game. Wilson, again, I only brought him in because we just couldn't find anyone else, and 15 goals from 42 appearances, I'm more than happy with that. We'll definitely keep him around. He's fairly dynamic in terms of where he can play in the attacking positions. Kane Herbie was easily our best player. 11 goals, average match rating of over 7. He's really been the one that's made us a mid-table League One team from where we were. And then some of the young players that have slowly worked their way in. Gonzalo's played a lot of games. If I re-implement what the starting team would be, he's not a starter, but I think very quickly may become one. There's quite a few players who have asked to move on. They're all under contract for another year, but Jones, Tyler, Beneraus, Nurse have all asked to move on. Ollie Clark is going to retire at the end of the season, but he has really dropped off in terms of ability, so it's not the end of the world. And that is that, really. There weren't any more incomings or outgoings. A few other owners came back and improved us a little bit, but that is season number 3. Season number 3 complete. In terms of the youth intake, because I haven't shown you that yet in this episode, I've offered contracts to all of the locals, a good young goalkeeper and a good young centre half. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what they become. Another centre half here that's usable, and then we've offered just contracts to anyone that's local, because we just need to fill up the development centre a little bit more. There are a few, in fact, while I'm here, let me very quickly release some of the players that aren't locals, just to keep things the way they should be. These are the candidates on trial. This guy can go as well. But yeah, that's it for the episode. So the next episode, which will be out as soon as I can get it out, will involve the 4th season, and the rebuild very much starts now. There aren't a huge number of viable candidates to bring in. If I show you the players that are currently in range, these are players whose contracts are expiring. So I will have a look at some of these players and see if there's anything we can do. But if I show you a quick search of who's actually interested and is Bristolian, it's very, very limited. Scott might have to come in just as a backup option, but other than that, we're struggling a little bit. So that will be it for this episode. If you enjoyed what you've seen, please leave a like, subscribe, and the next episode will be up shortly, or as soon as it can be.